The Super Witch is the 6th troop introduced into Clash of Clans, dealing twice as much damage, having 6 times more health, and being the only witch ever to be able to spawn a big boy skeleton. She is one of the more unique super troops that we have seen so far. And obviously she is better than any regular witch, but that begs the question, where did the Super Witch come from, and why is it that she has just shown up to her villages now? Where was she before this? Find out all of that inside of today's Super Witch origin story. The Super Witch's story surprisingly does not start with a regular witch, and instead it starts with the Master Builder. Since the Master Builder had come to the Clash of Clans village and started building all around the edges of the base with his new clashy construct designs, he was running out of workshop space, and so he moved his operations further down towards the south of the base and towards the bottom. The Master Builder then got out some of the Builder's siege machines and asked the miners for some help to help him start digging the foundation for his new project. The miners and the siege machines dug a massive hole in the ground, and as soon as they dug a couple stories deep, they discovered something quite unique. They ran into an already existing tunnel that led somewhere deep into the ground. The miners were way too chicken to check it out, and the builders were not being paid enough to go down there, and so they went back and told the Master Builder about it. The Master Builder decided to go down, but he needed someone else to go with him for safety. But turns out everyone in the village was way too scared to go down into a deep, dark hole. Well, everyone except for the witch. The witch wasn't scared of anything, and so she volunteered to go with the Master Builder. I mean, as far as the witch was concerned, she was the scariest thing in the village. And so together the Master Builder and the witch ventured down into the dark tunnel. Together they ended up walking forever in complete darkness. After a 15 long minutes of walking, they finally found the end of the tunnel. The tunnel opened up into a large cavern where the inside of it was lit up by the glow of some sort of artifact in the middle of the room. It glowed so bright that the whole room was bright enough that you could see everything. Right in front of the artifact was a giant tomb. The Master Builder and the witch both crept up on the glowing artifact, and while the Master Builder inspected it without touching it, he then spoke up and told the witch not to touch it because it looked like it was cursed. But before the Master Builder could finish his sentence, the witch had already picked up the artifact to inspect it. Immediately the entire tomb started to shake and dust started to fall from the cavern ceiling. The Master Builder booked it out of there immediately, but due to the curse, the witch was stuck in place and could not move. A giant glowing blue soul emerged from the tomb and flew straight into the witch. The witch then started to grow slightly and change a bit in appearance. After a few excruciating seconds for the witch was no more, and in her place was the ancient witch queen. For the most part, she looked the same as most witches since she was the first witch ever, except slightly bigger, held a different staff, and also held considerably more power than the regular witch. The new witch queen then picked up the artifact and placed it on her head. The artifact was a crown and was also the source of all of her power. The new witch queen then slammed her staff against the ground and then emerged the biggest skeleton ever in the Clash village. Together the witch queen and this giant skeleton followed the tunnel back to the Clash of Clans village. By this time the Master Builder had already exited the tunnel and warned the entire village about what happened. And so when the witch queen and her giant big boy skeleton emerged from the tunnel, the whole village was there waiting for them. When the witch queen saw this, she knew she could easily take them all out, and she wanted to take control of this whole village. And so she shouted at them, "Let down your weapons and kneel before me, and I will have mercy." The Barbarian King laughed at this and then told his troops to attack. Unfortunately, the Super Witch took out the first wave of attacks with absolute ease, and so the Barbarian King told them all to retreat.
Run away! Retreat! I said retreat!
He knew that his regular army stood no chance against this witch queen and her big boy. And so the Barbarian King ordered the Builder to go summon his super troops. And so the Builder rushed off, and then an army of super barbarians, super giants, sneaky goblins, super wall breakers, and an inferno dragon all joined the Barbarian King's side. The king then ordered them to attack!
Attack!
And together the super troops overpowered the witch and disarmed her. They removed her staff and her crown, and then took her back to the Clash prison. Without her staff and without her crown, she was basically powerless. And so now that the witch queen was disarmed, the king decided that he could really use her powers to help out their village. However, they were worried about her turning against them at some point if they gave her her weapons back. And so instead, the king had another idea. He approached the Builder and asked him to clone this witch queen many times, and then use her staff and crown to construct replicas that are powerful, but not too powerful that she could take out their entire village if she wanted to. So the Builder nodded in understanding, and then went off to clone the Super Witch. He then created a new powerful, but not too powerful artifact and staff, and allowed this new Super Witch to fight for the Clash of Clans village while still remaining in check by the Barbarian King. So basically, it was like the Witch Queen, but just a miniature, less powerful version of her. And so until this day, the Witch Queen still sits in her cell while the army uses her powers through her clones. The process of creating the replica crown and staff is obviously not cheap, and so if the village wants to do so, they have to pay a hefty amount of dark elixir. So while the Witch Queen sits around in her cell, the Super Witches roam off and help the village fight to victory. They aren't as power hungry or greedy to control the whole village because they just aren't powerful enough. And so this works out in the best favor for everyone, except for the Witch Queen, who, like I said, just sits and rots away in her cell. And that there concludes the origin story of the Super Witch. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like if you guys want to see the next story video. The next one will be getting posted on Monday or sooner if the Clash Royale update gets released before that, but we'll have to wait and see for that. Also, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss it, and also check out some of my other story videos while you guys wait for the next one. I highly recommend you guys check out the Headhunter story or the Royal Champion origin story if you haven't already seen those, as they are brand new and really relevant, and I think you guys might enjoy them. But anyways, that's going to end it here for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys all in the next video. Peace out.